Hi, and welcome to Delaware County Political News. I am your host, Larry DeMarco. In early April, the Yeadon branch of the NAACP held a candidates forum in Yeadon Borough Hall for county and local borough candidates to discuss their platforms, and Delaware County Political News was on scene to cover the candidates' debates. Two Democratic county candidates, Jerry Sanders for sheriff and Joanne Phillips for controller, were on scene to discuss their platforms. Joanne Phillips discussed her background and explained that, in addition to being a partner at Ballard Spahr, a prominent Center City firm, she had taken a leave of absence to work in the street administration for licensing and inspection to assist in business development. And in 2006, she worked in the real estate department in Harrisburg in the Rendell Administration and oversaw a $110 million budget. Jerry Sanders, in addition to being a Baptist minister, worked as a sheriff in Philadelphia for 24 years, working up to chief inspector. He emphasized an understanding of the human part of the foreclosure process and expressed a desire to work with the court system to ensure that there are safety measures in place to assist elder, struggling citizens to keep their homes before resorting to foreclosure. He would also focus on the speed and efficiency of serving protection from abuse orders so that victims would feel and be safe while awaiting their protection from abuse hearings. Welcome to their NAACP panel hearing in Yeadon.
Our first panel, Delaware County Commissioner Jerry Sanders. County Controller Joanne Phillips, and Sheriff, Jerry Sanders. This panel will only introduce themselves and will take a few audience questions for 10 minutes.
Good evening. Thank you very much for inviting us to the NAACP Forum in Yeadon to present ourselves to you and give you an introduction about where we're coming from and why we're running. My name is Joanne Phillips. I am running for County Controller. I am the nominated Democratic nominee for that position. I live in Middletown Township at the end of the train line at the Elwyn train station almost. I've lived in Middletown for 29 years with my husband Wade Phillips, who grew up in Delaware County in Springfield. We met in college at Ursinus College. I went on to law school at Ballard University, Delaware Law School, and from there I went right to a law firm in Philadelphia, Ballard Spahr, Andrews & Ingersoll at the time, which is a large national law firm. I did better in law school than I thought I would, and I landed that job. I was the first person from Widener to be hired at Ballard. I went on to have two children. I became the first woman, I believe, to have children as an associate before you made partner. I worked full time and I kept up my law practice. I made partner in 1995, where I practiced real estate law. I do zoning and real estate development, real estate finance, and have had a great practice with really smart and wonderful people at Ballard. In 2000, I was fortunate to be able to take a leave of absence and work for the mayor of Philadelphia, John Street, in the Office of Managing Director. And I went there to help streamline business processes, working with the Department of Licenses and Inspection, and how to get businesses to be able to bring people to work and make the process move smoothly. I was there for 1 year, and I returned to Ballard. And in 2006, I was asked by Governor Rendell to go out to Harrisburg to run the Bureau of Real Estate for the Department of General Services. And in that position, I commuted every day to Harrisburg from Middletown, and we brought some business perspective to government to help streamline the leasing and the disposition and the purchase of property. Whenever the state police need a new building, someone's got to buy that property. And then whenever someone needs an office, we had to lease that office. We had a budget of $110 million just for leasing alone. It was a great job. I learned a lot. I learned about how a government can pay attention to its money and use its resources carefully, and that is part of why I want to be the controller in Delaware County. When the election happened in November, as many of us were, I was beyond disappointed. I was disturbed. I was so concerned about how we may be going backwards from all the progress we had made from the 8 years before that. And many people were disheartened, and I was disheartened. And I met with people, what can we do? What can we do? What should we do? I met with women lawyers. We went on Facebook. We tried to do daily action. And then this winter, I got a phone call looking for people's names who would step up and take on the Republican machine in Delaware County, because we're going to need to grow this from the ground up. We can't count on it coming from Washington, coming down. We have to build it up. So I got that phone call, who could I think of? And on my way home from work late at night, I said, it can be me. I went to the march in Washington. I heard the call. The call was, we need to run for office. So I accepted the idea of throwing my name in the hat, and I got the nomination. So I am running for county controller with a great ticket of people, including Jerry. I'll turn it over to Jerry in a minute. But the main thing I want to say is we're here to make this county government transparent, responsible, and with voices of everyone. Not just one voice, because there's been one voice in this county from one party for over 40 years. And I want to go and be a watchdog. I'm not saying that things are wrong, but how would we know? We don't know. You can't find out anything. So with that in mind, I would ask for your vote this May, and we're really going to need the vote, and we need Yeadon to come out in November. And with that, I guess I'll turn it over to Jerry.
Thank you, Joanne. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jerry Sanders. I'm the endorsed Democratic candidate for Sheriff of Delaware County. My background in law enforcement comes from the Philadelphia Sheriff's Office, where I was a deputy for 24 years before retiring as chief inspector. I came up through the ranks from entry-level deputy, promoted to sergeant, promoted to lieutenant, promoted to captain, promoted to inspector, promoted to chief inspector, and I oversaw criminal and civil operations in the sheriff's office. And I hope to bring that experience to the Delaware County Sheriff's Office, and also bring transparency to the Delaware County Sheriff's Office. Before I speak about Delaware County and what I hope to do there, I would like to tell you that I'm also a Baptist minister. And I'm an associate minister at Mount Zion Baptist Church, 50th and Woodland, and I am chaplain at Deer Meadows Retirement Community, 8301 Roosevelt Boulevard. Now those two careers, they complement each other because we all know that all authority comes from God. And as a minister, I'm to speak truth to power and to be fair and equitable, and as sheriff, I will do the same thing. I hope as sheriff to put a face on sheriff sales. Sheriff sales are really generated by not paying mortgages, and included in the mortgage in many instances is property tax. And in many instances, people can afford their mortgage, can't afford the property tax because of unfair tax assessments. And it falls heavily on seniors. at a time in their life when they should be safe and stable and relaxing, they're in jeopardy because of the unfair tax assessments on people, many of which are on fixed incomes. And 20 years ago, they may have been able to afford the house, but the income hasn't changed, but the taxes have gone up. So much so that many lose their homes. And on the other end of the spectrum, we have our young people, many of which can afford the home but can't afford the tax. So at both ends, the tax assessment is really being applied in a way that's a burden on our citizens. And now, I'm not confused about the sheriff and what his responsibilities are. He's an officer of the court, an enforcement officer, an executive officer, and at the same time, a judicial officer, wears two hats. Sheriff effectively is the court on the streets and should be fair on the streets. And I would just like to resensitize all of us to what we have become desensitized to, and that is sheriff sales. They're not addresses in the newspaper, they're people losing their homes. People losing their homes. And if we together can bring a focus to the lawmakers to find a creative way to satisfy the budget in other ways than property tax, lift the burden of property tax. And I hope the sheriff, if we can just have the public and everyone see faces and not addresses, and apply pressure to people that are elected to do what I'm talking about. Find a way to lessen that tax assessment burden so that so many of our young people will be able to afford, and our old people will not be losing their homes because they can no longer afford. My background in education is I have a master's degree in organizational development and leadership from St. Joe University. And I want to apply all these God-given talents and gifts on your behalf in the sheriff's office. Transparency, I hope to bring, and will bring transparency to the office. I want to also focus on complaint from abuse complaints and have them served in a very timely fashion so that the person that is being abused is not abused again while they're waiting for the service of the process. So I'd like to prioritize those things. I want to have a policy where I will be accessible because I don't claim to know everything, but if I'm elected by you, I should hear from you and what you would like to see happen. I don't want to get in a comfort zone. I want to stay uncomfortable and always be thinking, what can I do to better serve the people that elected me? And so I just ask your support in helping me to do that on your behalf.
Thank you very much. We have 2 minutes for questions.
30 seconds, my wife is here. My wife for 47 years. And I wouldn't be here without her, so I want to acknowledge my wife.
Any questions from the audience? Jacqueline Brinkley.
Mr. King, thank you for your comments. You talked about putting a face on sheriff sales. And I'd like to know specifically, what is it you feel that you will be able to do as sheriff to change the process as it is now?
I think that in addition to just having the advertisement, notifying the public of when and where there's a sheriff sale, let's talk about people. Without a name, maybe we can put what generation there is that's involved in this month's sale. 20 seniors. Let's because we have, there are certain confidences, public information if you seek it out. But for me, if I can just identify the group that is being affected by this, And as I said, you know, this is not a one-man thing. This is a we thing. We have to, if we want relief, we have to apply pressure, because I think that we're all in a comfort zone. I don't think there's anyone sitting there that doesn't know about sheriff sales, but it's a passive knowledge. And it has to be active for, as I say, the people that are responsible to alleviate that burden, to feel it. And if they don't do it, that's why we have a voting public. Elect somebody that will do it. But we have to let our voices be known. I'm one voice, and I just want to the extent that the sheriff can help to do that, because I know people that have lost their homes. And I wouldn't want to, what is it for? I'm not just going to sit there in media. I want to examine myself at all times and see what can I be doing on your behalf. And that comes, along with that comes access to me, so you can tell me.
The red signal is up.
So I'd like to hear from you. Thank you.
There was another question.
Hi, my name is Denise Christmas Lindley, and this question is for Mr. Sanders. If you were to secure this position on your second day, what would be the first action that you would put in place in policy to prevent a sheriff's sale?
I don't think it can be prevented, but in Philadelphia, I was the sheriff's representative on the Criminal Justice Coordinating Committee, which consisted of all the players in the criminal justice system: the police department, the courts, the sheriff's office, the district attorney's office, the defender's office. And we came together on a regular basis to talk about what we could do to make the criminal justice system more fluid. And I think that, in answer to your question, maybe I could have a meeting. I would like to have a meeting with the courts. We need to look at civil procedure. Again, I don't know how often we look at civil process and see if the rules can be adjusted for today. Maybe there can be some exceptions or extensions granted, so that the people that are being hit the hardest by this might have some relief. But I don't have an answer today, but I want to have a conversation with the people that you would let to forming this. And I think that the criminal justice agencies meeting to re-examine civil procedure and civil process. All of these things are executed based on civil procedure. And maybe I think that we need to take another look at that.
Are there any questions?
I might just want to add one thing if I could. I think also in terms of fiscal responsibility for the county, there are resources out there, and whether they're being employed in the proper way to intervene with people that are struggling is a question that I don't think we know the answer to. There are resources out there to help seniors, but where the money's spent is unclear. So there may be ways to intervene, and there also are ways that people can look at data. You know, where are the water bills not being paid? Where are the electric bills going late? Where are the people that are struggling? By the time it gets to the sheriff's sale, it is really far down the line. So I think that Jerry and I would be trying to make a voice to the council to say, look, you've got to make sure you're deploying the resources in the right way.
All right, thank you very much. Is there another question for Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry.
My question is directed to Ms. Phillips. If you are selected and honored to be our controller, how do you see your position directly benefiting Yeadon?
Well, I think, first of all, we could find out where money is being spent throughout the county. I mean, are there leases, are there properties being rented by the county? Are they distributed across the county the right way? Are the resources going to social services, going to different townships? Where is the money going? I don't know that that's known right now. I can't say that it's going in the wrong place now, but there's really very little information that you can glean out of the county without doing a right to know request, which is very frustrating. So I think the first thing we would do is to take a look at that. And right now, the controller can do audits. right, they can do audits on their own account, and they can do audits requested by the county council. Right now, it's the same voice, there's no watchdog. So I think there's a watchdog mentality that could come and find out where there needs to be a look. Good answer.
Any other questions? Thank you very much. You were very clear, and we enjoyed your.
We very much appreciate the opportunity.